Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of Caveopolis. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. Welcome to our new base. If you watched last episode, we had a bit of a disaster that, the wither got loose. It just appeared out of nowhere, and we had to run away. So, it may have been a disaster of my own making. But I deny everything. Anyway, so we transferred all of our stuff over here. It's all in chests right now, and it is an absolute disorganized mess, but I did get absolutely everything transferred over, and a lot of you correctly pointed out that storage drawers can actually hold their contents. If you break them, well, they have a bunch of stuff in them. And I couldn't remember, I feel like that wasn't always a thing. I think in older versions of storage drawers, if you broke it, all the items would like explode out. But that feature was added at some point, and I did notice it eventually. So we do have everything from the old base brought over, which is very exciting. So now we can start our new base. And we can start our new base in a way that's actually designed and made to look far more interesting and far more logical than our previous base. Now, I don't know exactly what I want to do yet as far as what sort of a look we want to go with. We could do, like a classic etho base underground with lots of oak and stuff. That would be an option. I've never actually done something like that. But I think I kind of want to lean into... where is it? Here we go. All of this colored stone. We have so much of this. It's in every color. Now, I don't want to go, don't get me wrong. I don't want my base to look like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles, okay? I don't want to go, overboard with the colors. But I think finding a way to use some of these colored stones could be really cool, especially since we've got, gray. This dark gray actually looks really nice. Now, I do wish that... these stones, you actually can make them into stone bricks. I did not know this. Okay. So they don't have a cobblestone variant, but they do have a stone brick variant and stairs and slabs for both the default stone and the stone brick variant of that stone. So, we could maybe do some cool stuff with this. We could use gray, and if we're really looking for a pop of color, we could go with, light gray. No, I'm kidding, guys. Well, I'm not kidding about wanting to use the stone brick, but I am kidding about using only the gray versions. I think we do want to use these as some sort of a color pop. I'm not exactly sure what yet. I really need to kind of take some time and just sort of play around with what we have available to us. I think we want to probably lean into some sort of very sort of natural style. So, I'm thinking a lot of, wood and planks and logs, and then some of the colored stone for little splashes of color here and there. And maybe some andesite and stuff as well. Could be good. I don't know, but yeah, I need to play around with some things. I also need to figure out how I want to lay this out, because that was one problem with the original base, was we just kind of started out with a little section, and then we're like, well, we need room for machines, so let me just make a little hole in this wall and shove all of our machines in there and stuff like that. We don't want to do that here. So I think the smart thing to do would be to start out with a storage room, and a pretty large storage room, because I don't want to have a storage room and then find out that it's not big enough and have to make another storage room. It's always better to have a storage room that is too big than to have a storage room that is too small. like for sure. Especially since chests are so cheap, we can make them with just stone, and storage drawers. I mean, obviously, we can get logs and stuff very, very easily thanks to the bonsai pots. So we've got plenty of storage, of actual like storage availability. It's not hard to get those resources at all. So I think we want to make a pretty large storage room as sort of like the central hub, if you will, for our base, and then have everything kind of branch off of that in some way or another. So yeah, I need to do some thinking. I got to do some, I have some decisions to make, but I do definitely want it to actually look interesting, unlike our last starter base. All right, my friends, I have been doing some work, and I've dug out this relatively large room, and this is going to be our storage room. So here's the plan. Over in each of these sections is 4x4, and then in the center of each of these, we have a 5x4 section. So it'll still be an odd number. That way we can still make everything nice and symmetrical. And the plan is we will have sort of a tunnel or a hallway going off this way, and maybe this way too. I haven't decided quite yet. Eventually, we are going to get into applied energistics. So we want to make sure that we leave room to put in an ME system, which includes like an interface and some of that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure, and we're going to want that in the center of one of these sections, because it'll look best that way. And look, we gotta take into account how things look. It's important that we plan this out, because that was kind of the whole point of moving over to this new area. So we might put it over here. We might put it over here. I know that this section and this section are for sure going to be hallways that branch off. But anyway, we've got a section of chests here and here, and then the rest of these are all going to be storage drawers of some variety, either the either the normal drawer that holds 32 stacks. And keep in mind, these can all be multiplied with upgrades. So if we put like an obsidian upgrade on, multiplies by 2. So instead of holding 32 stacks, it would hold 64. If we then put another obsidian upgrade on it, it would go from 64 to 128. So you can get like crazy amounts of stacks if you really stack the upgrades up. But some of them are going to be the 1x1 drawers, and some of them will be the 2x2 that'll hold 4 different items. They hold less, but once again, we can multiply it with the upgrades. So for stuff like sticks and the pebbles and things that we're going to have like crazy amounts of, for those we'll use the 1x1 drawers. And for things that we'll have less of, like planks or maybe saplings, stuff like that, for those we'll use the 2x2 drawers. So that's kind of the plan. And then we've got this big sort of open room, and I thought it would be really cool if in the middle of the room we maybe, we need to put something in the middle of the room, and I'm leaning towards a mob farm. Just a simple drop farm that will spawn enemies, spit them out to the sides where they will fall to their death, and we can get all of their drops, like, gunpowder and stuff like that. So I think that will be pretty cool. The other alternative would be to make the center of the room like our enchanting area. That could also be pretty cool. So I need to do a little bit more thought on what exactly I want to put in the center of the room. But I definitely want to put something in the center of the room, just so we don't have this giant, like, open space that doesn't really have anything interesting going on. The ceiling also is going to get an overhaul. Right now I've just kind of dug it out, but I need to do some design work there. But the ultimate goal is to have storage drawers all connected up, going all around this room. And the way that we're going to do that is we'll take our drawers. Let me just grab... that one's empty. That one's empty. That one's empty. There we go. And do I have any more? Yeah, I've got a couple more empty ones here. So the way that this works is you put down your drawers, which currently have things marked, but these are all empty. It's because they're locked. I will unlock them momentarily. Let's see. Drawer key. There we go. So if we unlock these, then you get your drawers like this. And what you need to do is you can connect them up in a few different ways. You can either use a frame, which I don't actually... Oh, here we go. Trim. You can either use trim, like so, and you just basically plop that down like right here in the middle. And then if you use a drawer controller, which I'm sure we have somewhere in one of these chests. Everything is still a disorganized mess right now. Here we go. If you plop down a drawer controller, we'll just say here for demonstration purposes, and then you say, you know, oak planks over there, it will still reach. But the drawer controller only has a range of, I believe it is 8 stacks? I think? We should test this and find out. But I'm fairly sure it only reaches 8 blocks. So let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Or would that be 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah. So if we are more than 9 blocks, if we are 9 blocks away or more, I don't think that this will work. No, it still will. Okay. So we don't necessarily need... I gotta figure out just how far this range actually goes. Let me do some testing real quick. Okay, so I looked into it. I was correct-ish. The default is 12 blocks, not 8. So the default range is relatively short, but in the config files for the mod pack, the default range has been changed, and a drawer controller will actually have a range of 50 blocks, which is a lot. So that's actually very good for us. Now, the drawer, I mean, how many is this even going to be? So we've got like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So if I put the drawer controller like somewhere in the middle, it should reach pretty much around the entire room. If you are playing a mod pack, though, and you're using that doesn't have that changed to a very large amount, what you actually need are drawer controller slaves. These right here. And basically what these do is they just extend the range. So what we would do is, you know, we would do 12 drawers, put down a drawer slave, 12 more drawers, put down a drawer slave, so on and so forth. Or I guess it would be 11 drawers and then a drawer slave or something like that. But we're not even going to have to do that because the default range of the drawer controller in this mod pack has been changed, so one drawer controller should be able to get the job done. Progress update time. The storage room is pretty much done. We've got all of the drawers and everything put in. I've organized most of the stuff. Obviously, the big cluster of chests that was here is gone, and essentially everything that doesn't have a drawer is in one of these chests over here, and until we actually get our ME system up and running, which I believe we don't even get Yeah, all the way down here until level 6. This is when we actually can get into applied energistics. So it's going to be a while. Until we get that, we are going to need some storage space for stuff like armor and wrenches. Like, we're only going to make one of these. We don't want to dedicate a whole drawer to, to something like that, for example. So we still need to have some storage that's just kind of the everything else storage, so to speak. But yeah, this is the room, and I'm quite happy with it. We've got kind of these like door sections. This one goes back towards the original base area, and then I've got one here that goes nowhere currently, and one on the other side that's exactly the same. I think what we're going to do is I want to say, like, okay, over on this side, this is going to be all of our machines and technical stuff, and then maybe we say over on this side is like all of our farms, for example, or something like that. I haven't decided exactly how I want to do it yet, but that should all be good. Everything is all connected up, so if we grab something from, say, the farthest drawer away from the drawer controller, we can still just go bada boom, and it will automatically poof itself back in there. And then the nice thing about that is when we do eventually get our ME system, our applied energistics stuff, we'll be able to just hook it up to this drawer controller, and it will automatically push and pull items out of the proper drawers. So that's really great. So yeah, I think we're basically good to go. We've got our kind of nice ceiling design here. Just making use of slopes and circles and sort of depth and things like that. I'm not super happy with this section in the middle, but obviously we're not making a mob farm right now, because unless I just wanted a big wall in the middle of the room, we have to use tinted glass, and tinted glass is something that is not... in fact, I don't even know if we can get it at all right now, because we need amethyst shards, and those... Yeah, I suppose technically we could. Bright shards, we could get purple dye. It would be possible. And then we are about to make a soul forge as our next thing for actual progression. So, like, it would be possible, but not right now. I've got other things I want to do first. So I think we'll probably dedicate some other area to the mob farm. And enchantment's kind of the same book. We don't really have the leather and all the necessary stuff to make a proper enchanting setup. Not to mention we don't have diamonds to actually make a enchanting table. So there is that. Unless that recipe has been changed. Has it? No, still requires diamonds. So we don't have access to diamonds yet either. So now that we've got this all done, I think the next step is to just kind of set up all of the farms and automatic stuff that we had going for us back at the previous base. So power, a setup to get all of these all of these pebbles and stuff constantly, all that kind of stuff. I think that's going to be our next major step. So I'm going to do that, and since we basically have already set all that stuff up, I think I'm just going to do it all off camera, and I will come back to you once it's done. Before I get too crazy with the farms, I think it would be wise to kind of future-proof our setup a little bit here. So what I've done is down underneath the floor here, I've run an item pipe. And this goes all the way to the drawer controller. And I'm going to run that item pipe all the way along here under the floor. So any farms or machinery or anything like that that we want to have transported back and automatically stored, we will know that there will be a pipe connecting up right here down the center of the hallway that we can sort of link into. I think that's going to be really, really useful for us. It does mean I'm going to have to make a bunch of bronze and stuff like that, but that should be fine. And honestly, I think in the long run, it's definitely going to be the way to go. Okay, so I've gone ahead and set up the igneous extruder setup that's giving us a bunch of different pebbles and things of that nature. I also set up over here all of the eroders, because we will need those for things. But I want to hold off on doing all the ores and things like that until next episode, because I want to have access to deep slate because deep slate is actually kind of interesting. It's the only block that I know of that you can just produce deep slate itself straight from an igneous extruder, and then it can also be melted down in an advanced barrel to produce 100 millibuckets of lava instead of just 25. So, if you're doing the ore setup, the fastest way to ensure a steady supply of lava is to use deep slate. At least, I think so. So we're going to hold off on all the ores until we get deep slate unlocked. Speaking of getting deep slate unlocked, how do we do that? Well, is progression time. So first thing we need to do is make a soul forge. And I have 1 steel ingot here. We are also going to need, let's see, for the soul forge, we need 2 soul soil, we need some glowstone, some quartz. Okay, so I've got the soul soil is such a difficult word to say. It really is. We need 4 of these, and this is my glowstone? Yeah. There we go. So that should give us everything we need to build the soul forge itself, which is this guy. But it actually requires a multi-block structure for it to work. And we're going to put that right here, I think. I was talking about, ooh, just kidding. We are not going to put it right here because it will mess with our pipes, and I don't want to put those back. Like, I don't want to remake the pipes. So, change of plans. We are not going to put the soul forge right here. We will put it somewhere else instead. Let's grab. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the other thing. In order to build the soul forge, we need hardened glass, and this is created with quartz, obsidian, and sand. That will make 2. We need to make 4 hardened glass. So we need 1, 2, we need 2 sand, and we need 2 quartz. And then we can just toss those into here, let that get smelting. We're also going to need to make ourselves a flint and steel, because we'll have to light some stuff on fire. There we go. And we'll need 4 wither skeleton skulls, which I have already crafted off camera because, yeah, you got to put blaze powder in the eroder and wait for that, and it becomes a little bit of a thing. So now the question is, where do we actually want to put the soul forge? And I think, let's grab our hardened glass first. I really liked the idea of putting it right in the middle of this room, but I guess we'll have to do something different. That leads back to... I don't even know which direction I'm going. Do I want to dedicate a room to the soul forge? I guess we could. It's basically a 3x3 structure. So, let me clear out a space for this. I think we'll probably put it over on this side somewhere. I'll have to dig out some space and all that kind of stuff, but shouldn't be a big deal. Well, I went ahead and dug out a little bit of a space right over here, and this is where we are going to create our soul forge. So the way that this works is you need to create a multi-block structure that involves a layer of soul soil, and then you go soul soil again in the corners. You do 4 hardened glass like so, light a fire right there, and the soul forge itself, this block goes right on top. And that should be, oh, and also wither skeleton skulls. You got to put these guys in the corners. It put one on my head for some reason. But now this thing should be fully functional. And if we toss a steel ingot in here, it will process into a soul steel ingot, which now completes this final quest, except for the one that involves killing the wither. We won't talk about that one right now. But it completes this quest which allows us to actually break deep slate. And that means we are now set up to do the all the other good stuff involving a really nice, proper ore creation automated setup that will basically last us and be very expandable and give us all the ores we could ever want and then some. And one nice thing, rather than having to redig all of my layers and stuff, we do have the TemPad, and this is something you guys have been telling me to use forever, and like, it's just kind of been one of those like out of sight, out of mind things. Like it wasn't in my inventory, so I forgot that I had it. But this thing lets you teleport back and forth. So we can say like, hey, I want to go back and I want to go to the lava mine. And I can teleport there. You walk through the portal and boom, we're back over kind of at our old base area. And then I can just go down the ladder and dig out, you know, whatever I need. If I can come down here and be like, hey, we got deep slate. I don't know if this stone pick will mine it or not, but we'll find out. Yep, there we go. So now we got deep slate. Well, we got cobbled deep slate, but you get the idea. And then whenever you want to head back, you just say, hey, I want to go back to my base. You walk through the portal it creates, and we're back. So, pretty nifty. And it lets you just kind of get around the world very quickly, and it'll save us some serious amounts of digging. So that's pretty cool. But guys, I think that is going to do it for today's episode. I'm going to wrap this one up here. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.